Welcome, everyone, in our Women's Net community to a chat with our three August 2025 grant winners. Today, we're speaking with Miraj Budak of Gloucester Sea Hive. She is our Amber Grant winner, and the Amber Grant is open to all women business owners in the US and Canada. We also have Camila Mello of Beauty Bar Academy. She's our business specific grant winner. And for August, the business specific category was hair care and skincare. And we also have Nicole Melton of MHS Glass Polishing, who's our startup grant winner. And startup grants are for entrepreneurs who are still sort of figuring out their idea or who have started their business but haven't yet generated more than $10,000 in sales. I'm Marsha Layton Turner. I'm one of several advisory board members, and every other month I have the great pleasure of chatting with our winners, which I always enjoy. So, thank you all for being here and for giving me a little bit of your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Mira, let's start with you. And I'd love to hear from each of you where you got the idea to start your business. What was it? Just give me a little backstory.
I have a sideline beekeeping company that focuses on honeybee and pollinator stewardship. It encourages community involvement, and most importantly to me, it's sustainable. And like a lot of folks, when I heard about colony collapse in 2008, 2010, I knew I wanted to do something, but I had an apartment. I didn't have any property or land or anything, and I had no idea how to even get started. I was unable to work and was medically discharged from the Coast Guard after an injury and then kind of focused on my family. And February of this year, I saw that there was a practical beekeeping course put on through my county that came with a membership to the beekeeping club. And after the first class, I was hooked. I started reading books on honeybee behavior and biology. I watched hours and hours of YouTube, listened to podcasts. I got my first two honeybee colonies in May of this year and quickly realized that my relationship with honeybees was more of a true symbiotic one, in that not only do my bees produce products like honey and wax, but I also found working the hives incredibly therapeutic. You're breathing that fresh, antimicrobial, antiseptic, antibiotic, antifungal air that circulates through the hive. You're moving slowly and deliberately, as not to disturb your bees. You're just being extremely careful, and I find that kind of inner peace while you're doing it. And researching bees even for me is soothing. So I knew there was something different about this. I was on another level with honeybees, I felt, and I knew this is something that I wanted to share with whomever might be slightly interested in it.
So awesome. I'm fascinated by bees as well. So I'm so glad that you took that interest and turned it into a business. Very cool.
Me too. Thank you.
Camila Mello, how about your business? Tell us a little bit of the backstory.
Yeah, so I'm all about beauty, as you guys can see. I own the beauty bar. I originally from Brazil, migrated into America when I was just 6 years old with a vision with my family, and always knew from a little girl that beauty was where I was going to be at. And when I, went through the hardships of becoming legal in the country and creating opportunities for me, I decided to start where typically everybody does in beauty school. Always knew college wasn't for me. Beauty was my passion. And once I aligned myself with all the certificates that I needed to get, I saw my vision and I made it all happen. I opened up the beauty bar first, which this is my first location. In 6 months, I outgrew the space, opened up my academy about a year later after we finalized construction. And today I own a service end of the beauty that focuses on natural beauty from head to toe. We are micropigmentation artists or semi-permanent makeup, tattooing, whatever you want to call it in today's world, which eventually I got into an academy. So I teach and certify people globally for my master and what we do and the transformations. And then I have a lifestyle company that I co-own with my partner Raymond, and that focuses on wellness and bringing natural beauty, integrative, holistic approach to well-being, connecting the two together. And with that, we've created a world of inner and outer beauty and educating our clients on the importance of awareness in an integrated way. So that's the story of Beauty Bar. So it has three elements. It's from, receiving a service and teaching and creating more artists, and then the client that gets to infuse the Beauty Bar world back at home into their lives. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nicole Melton, tell us about your business. Something completely different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very new here. So startup a glass polishing company is based out of a personal need. My husband has a uh, up and coming home services construction business, and there was a door panel that was scratched, and he was so busy, and this job kind of just fell behind but hadn't been completed. And in my free time, I was researching things to try to help get the scratches out of the glass here. So there was a there was a toothpaste home remedy that I tried, and it didn't work. But I happened to be just determined when I set my mind to something. And I saw some videos, and there's a toolkit and a glass polishing restoration kit that I did. There's quite a few out there, but I did a little research and selected one by GT Glass, and I decided I decided to just try it, give it a shot. What's it gonna hurt? A lot of people do this. It just happened to be that in our local area, there's not a small business that offers these services on a small scale. There are commercial businesses that offer glass restoration and polishing, graffiti removal, but more of a commercialized industrial basis, and they wouldn't come out to do a small job such as what we needed. And upon research, which I'm still doing a whole lot of research and would love to sign up for the class that's offered by GT Glass to get a certification in the glass polishing, because there's a lot of little tips and tricks. But I had some practice glass here that I put some scratches on and was able to polish them out. And I have a natural skill for it, and I feel that with the need also in this local community, that this is a business that I can build gradually, and I can expand it once I have more time and experience with it. I don't think it will be too difficult to expand this into. There's so much more that can be offered, but right now, since my skill level is beginner, it's going to be a small startup, and it'll grow as my skill grows and as I'm capable to serve the community that we live in.
And so, Nicole, as you're talking about polishing, I'm picturing like a clear glass shower door that has scratches in it. Would that be an
Yeah,
example of a project?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the door that I was talking of was a pocket door, which had it was an interior, like an interior room. So it didn't have any exterior windows. And the door had a glass panel. So sometimes inside of a home, you'll see doors with like multiple glass panels in like an
Yeah.
office, or so this was a den. And in order to let some natural light in, it had a large glass panel with a film on it. And when the glass was delivered, it was brand new, delivered from the company. It came with the scratches, and he tried to get the company to fix or replace the glass, but they said that they all have those little scratches and they're not really noticeable until you put the privacy film on them, and that's when they become very apparent. But with the glass polishing and restoration services that I'd like to offer, I'd like to be able to do things like removing hard water stains from exterior home windows and shower doors, and also stove tops. So glass stove tops sometimes can get scratches on them. And these are repairs that can be done fairly quickly and really cost effective as compared to purchasing a whole new appliance or glass panel.
Awesome. You all have such fascinating businesses. Since you're up and running, everybody, I would love to hear about any resources that you turned to as you were starting a business or growing your business. Any, it could be a book or a program or an agency, just any outside resource that you turned to that was useful for you. And I'd love to hear how. And then whether you would recommend it for other women business owners. And Camila, let's start with you. What resource might you suggest?
Yeah, so I've always functioned very well looking for mentorship, right? People that I looked up to and that inspired me to be the best at what I do. So when I was 14, I used to watch this TV show called 10 Years Younger, and it was about transformations on TLC. And the last part of that, I was 14 at the time, like I mentioned. The last part of that show was Damone Roberts. And Damone Roberts always talked about the importance of crafting brows and shaping the face and framing it. And he kind of stuck with me throughout my journey of getting into beauty school. So fast forward 10 years later, after I got certified, worked for 2 years in, the startup of the beauty business, I decided to reach out to him and asked for a job for free. And he had a location in Beverly Hills in New York. I happened to be closer to New York. And I said, I just want to, you've inspired me to be where I am now, and I want to be mentored by you. So mentorship has always worked for me. I ended up getting the job for a fee, not for free, after I shared my story. So I think that after I had that experience and that vision, and then I made it happen, life kind of just unfolded as far as, okay, this is where I'm at now. This is my business. This is where I want to go to. And then once I opened up this first location and realized the beauty industry coming from Brazil and seeing what's available globally, I said, now it's time to travel. It's time that I get, we live in America, we have the United Nations. So I needed to know how to service every part, every skin color, every ethnicity that was going to allow me to keep that natural beauty aesthetic, which is what we follow. It's feeling your best in your most natural element with natural beauty. We don't want to change anything per se, even though we're doing art. We want to make sure that you are comfortable in your own skin. So I started to travel the world, 100 times certified by now globally. I've won awards for best in the world, best artist in the world. There's competitions everywhere for you to compete, that get a collective of artists together. And they're the ones who have inspired me to learn so many different methods of application and art to bring back home. So it's always been mentorship, education, and then communities like this. I lead a women's community that focuses on beauty, that focuses on financial freedom. So constantly surrounding myself with people that have a purpose, that know their purpose, and how to help me elevate, get to the next level. So those are the three things.
That's excellent. Nicole, how about you? Any particular resource that you found useful that you might recommend?
I can't say that I have enough exposure or experience in that field to say that I have any good recommendations, but just from personal, just the motivation to do it. Just if you have a dream, you have something that you know you can make work, just you have to really set your mind to it and you can get there. And I guess I would recommend just like trust yourself, to make your dream happen a reality, really.
Well, one thing I heard from you is that you turned to, was it GT Glass, like a manufacturer that you
Yeah.
had a
So
relationship with? So
my
that,
research, yeah, it was extensive and it's ongoing. I just go online, I type in the exactly what I'm looking for, and I read and I read and I read and I read reviews, I read comments, I watch videos, I gather as much information as I can about, in this case, that is the product that I'm using to complete the polishing and restoration process, but also information on, you know, other companies that offer these services in different areas to know that, oh, wow, I can do this also. Oh, I can remove, scratches from mirrors or um, aquariums or, many other things that people don't necessarily need to replace. And which has inspired me to, you know, follow my research and kind of say, look, this is something that, if marketed correctly, will be a service that many people uh, can depend on.
awesome. Thank you. Mira, how about you? Any resources that you found useful that you might recommend?
We can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Um, Going off of what both Nicole and Camila said, I think that you definitely need the drive inside yourself. I didn't even tell anybody I was pursuing beekeeping because I start so many things and don't see it through, and I didn't want to present another failure, more or less. So I think really having that goal and being driven towards it. And then when Camila mentioned the mentorship as a beekeeper, I think maybe the most important thing you could really, the most valuable resource you have is a very, very attentive, approachable, engaged mentor. And you want your mentor to be extremely knowledgeable about all aspects of beekeeping. And I'd say somebody who's been doing it for more than 5 years. I didn't have that. So I faced a lot of challenges my first season. One challenge was getting and keeping my hives queen right, meaning the colony has a mature, mated, actively laying queen. And when I reached out to my mentor, who was suggested to me by my bee club, based primarily on proximity, I explained the issues I was having, and she told me that she didn't really know anything about queens. And it was in that moment that I kind of knew I was going to have to figure it out on my own. So I turned to whatever resources I could. My class used Beekeeping for Dummies, so I read that. I also got the Beekeeper's Bible, which was very good. And then there's a really cool book called The Honeybee Democracy, and that was one of the more interesting books I've ever read. And it has a lot to do with how bees decide where to set up their hives after they swarm, and it's mind-blowingly fascinating. They actually use a democratic process. I listen to podcasts. I think I might have mentioned that I watched a lot of videos. A few of the beekeepers I follow on YouTube also do live sessions. So I would jump onto their live and ask any questions that I couldn't answer on my own. And probably the single tool that I used more than anything else was ChatGPT. And it really helped me organize my thoughts, streamline my plans, get feedback on decisions I'd made, and get advice on my exact specific issue at the time. So those are probably most of the resources that I depended on to get to
Well,
this point.
as an author, I'm so happy to hear that you turned to books. That's awesome. And the Chat GPT, like, yeah, that's really smart because you can ask questions and it will go out to the universe essentially and see, what do I think is the right solution? That, yeah, very, very wise.
Extremely helpful.
Yeah, awesome. Well, how about marketing? Um, you, depending upon the stage of your business, you may be doing a lot of it, you may be doing a little bit of it, but are there any tactics that you've tried that you know are working for you? And Nicole, let's start with you. Have you been marketing, or what have you done that has worked?
Yeah, so for me, this is a very startup. So I have, I'm sorry, I don't know how to carry it out. I have so many ideas, but not things that I've already done. But this is a little bit of a niche, and it's going to be marketed more towards realtors, property managers, people who are in home construction, people who do home repairs. It's not necessarily a service that uh, people are on the lookout for. It's not something that your everyday average Americans get to type into their Google search and say, "I need to get my glass polished." You know, it's more the marketing I'm looking into is going to be a tri-county mailer and in a home improvement like catalog, um, and then some mostly word of mouth. It's a small community. We already know quite a few people in the construction uh, side of home construction side of things here. So just anyone who we already know, word of mouth there, and then just looking into other advertising for the services that I'd like to offer that are actually services that people might need that they don't they don't even know that there is a service for that.
I would think with your business, unlike Mira and Camila's, there's a problem occurs, and then they go looking for you. Oh, I just ruined my stovetop. They're not out there looking for honey or for beauty services. Just, yeah,
Right. It is
yeah,
born of need. Absolutely.
yeah. Awesome. Mira, how about you? What marketing has worked for you?
I think the marketing angle that has worked best for me so far is probably social media. That's my primary. I try to post at least one video a week. I have over 7,000 followers on TikTok. I'm part of the Bee Talk community. And I share whatever I'm currently doing, inspections, making trips out to get new bees, and I try to show the good and the bad. I had this week has been extremely trying week for me with the bees. I got some very bad advice coupled with my own mistakes that I made. I'm about to put that video out, and I just want people to see all of it, and that they know that it won't get worse than what I'm showing them, and that it's approachable and they can do it. And I think more people need to be doing it. I try to pass on what I know, encourage people to give it a shot. I have a booth at a farmer's market where I answer questions about beekeeping, and I'm able to get a list of potential climates or clients for when I start to manage hives for people on their own properties.
Oh, cool. Manage hives. Didn't know that was a thing.
Me neither.
Love it. Love it. Camila, how about you? What kind of marketing has worked best for you?
So for me, initially, I think has always been what inspired me, the storytelling aspect of my business, the transformation and what we do, and showing how we can really change someone's life by giving them a set of brows that maybe they lost due to cancer or alopecia or a burn victim or whatever it may be. We've dealt with everything. So keeping what Mira said, authenticity within your stories and your transformations, and not sharing only the good, but also sharing the challenges that we've had along this journey, right? It's been 10-year beautiful journey. So definitely storytelling, social media in today's world, you cannot live without feeding all different parts of the business in the social media because it is our storefront. So people initially want to go there. I participate in a lot of events, retreats, and collaborations that align with each part of each brand of the business. So if I'm focusing on lifestyle that has to do with wellness, I make sure that I put myself in wellness retreats, and I'm always speaking about the brand and what we're doing and how we're making these transformations. And then just growing communities, growing events, town events, getting my word out there and making sure that I take on invitations that people may, even if it doesn't align with my business, go about to different parties and events, because I know there's always something that I can fulfill within one part of the Beauty Bar brand. So that's what's worked for me.
Excellent. Love it. Well, before we wrap up here, I want to just ask each of you, what's one thing that our Women's Net community can do to support you? We have a Facebook community that's now over 26,000 members. We have an email list. So, like, what would be most helpful? Amira, let's start with you.
I think on top of all the opportunities you all have given me already, I think sharing how the grant is helping build my business brick by brick, with each brick kind of being progress in some sort. And I have a hard time believing that all self-made millionaires are truly self-made. I think it really takes opportunities like this in a lot of cases, and community, and just like having that mentor. A lot of things you really can't do without other people. And I think this community, getting involved in our communities, I think will strengthen and give more exposure. And this grant is just going to be an exponential boost, I believe, to my growth. And I think it will not only keep my motivation elevated, but it may inspire others to keep pursuing their business goals. And especially when they have opportunities like the Amber Grant available to them. And they should really pursue those, because I almost didn't.
So glad you did. What's one social media account that we can suggest people check you out on? I love the B
Um,
talk, but where would you like them to go?
You can find me at Black Girl by the Sea on TikTok.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank
Camila,
you.
how about you? What's one way that we can support you and help your business?
Same, very similar. Share my story, my mission, the transformations, try my products. I'm also a formulator of 100% plant-based products. So I work with a lot of beeswax, and I source my beeswax because I'm like the crazy bee lady too when it comes to creating these products. So, if I can share the products with somebody within Women's Net, so that I can teach you guys how I have my 9-year-old niece and my 99-year-old client all in the same 4 steps that we've created, because we create skincare for skin and not necessarily for age. So we're always trying to simplify the beauty industry. That's my mission here, because beauty, fitness, health is one of the most confusing in the world. There's so much out there. So my mission is to simplify. Less is more when it comes to beauty. So share my story, connect me with more women, connect with like-minded business entrepreneurs and opportunities, so we can grow as a community. Because we can have the drive, we can have all of this, but I think we're more powerful in community than we are single. So that's how you guys can help, and you've helped already by giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. What's one social media account we can suggest people visit?
So at Beauty Bar CM is my service account, and from there you will find all my other ones, the Academy and the Lifestyles, but Beauty Bar CM is a good go-to.
Awesome. And Nicole, how about you? What's one thing our community can do to support you?
I think just this conversation was helpful, just because of how new I am to starting a business. I haven't started a business before, so just listening to other people's stories of the trials that they went through and how they got through them, processes of the first steps here, and yeah, this is helpful, and I'm sure that you have more resources and stories from other women on how they achieved their goals and jumped over those first hurdles to try to get.
Do you have a website or a social media account we can mention?
I don't have anything that's related to the business yet.
Okay.
I can I can
share it later. Yeah,
I can do that.
And if you aren't yet in our Facebook community, I hope you all will join, because I think there you'll find other women like you can ask questions, and you can also be a resource to them because there are lots of other women in your, places in evolution in their business. So would love to have you there if you're not already. So
I'm there.
you're awesome. Great. Well, thank you all for giving me some of your time today and talking with me about your business. It's been so interesting and helpful. And congratulations again on being our 3 winners for last month.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yeah.